I've lugged stones, carded wool. I've hoed and watered. Isn't that enough? You know very well what I mean. Papa placed his boots on the floor and leaned forward, closer to Ma. I glanced at the door, pulse ticking in my neck. Like me, my parents were not supposed to be here. To meet like this. Papa did not live in Walter Schloss with the other members of the elect. He resided in a tiny cottage, one of the many outbuildings dotting the estate, alongside every other individual and family who longed to be accepted as one of the Labadist elites. Unless he was welcomed into the community, he was not permitted to eat or take shelter in the grand manor. I know what you're doing, Maria. Hiding behind all this piety. This is about your conscience and God, replied Ma. It has nothing to do with me. If you wish to remain a part of our family, to join our people— Papa interrupted her, a tremor in his voice. I hardly recognize you. What happened to my strong-willed wife? Where has your defiance gone? Why are you so— He stumbled for the right word. Hidebound. For a long time my mother didn't respond. When she finally did, her voice was strained. Do not make this my mistake. You made your choice. But you are the brother's agent. Won't you persuade them? Why can't you let him stay? I silently begged Ma, long ago having taken Papa's side in my parents' disputes. Where did you disappear to, Ma? I felt like shaking her by the shoulders. I could not fathom her inability to accept Papa as he was, as he had always been. How could she not miss sitting with him of an evening and listening to the stories he made up? His soft, deep voice like the purr of a cat. I used to snuggle next to him, feel the comforting weight of his arm around my shoulder, weave my fingers around his, and know I was safe. Why must you punish me? Is this worth it? He opened his palms, gestured at their surrounds. Don't you care what happens to our daughters? How can the brothers' preaching be righteous when it splits our family in two? It's too late, said Ma, voice a whisper. Papa spluttered, furious. I won't confess that my most natural actions, my very thoughts, are sins. I've demonstrated my repentance. Oh, I am not lofty like you. I'm but a man. But you— He paused. It pains me if this is what's become of your spirit. Don't, whispered Ma, tightening her lips. Papa continued. I'll tell you what I renounce. I renounce the Labadist insistence that earthly life's a dreary misery to be endured and not enjoyed. I reject all notion we live only to prepare for the afterlife. What of beauty? What of art? How can you turn your back on your very history? You give yourself away, said Ma. You chose worldly pleasures over your family, over God. It's no mystery. I clenched my teeth. I'd not heard my parents quarrel with such finality. So much distance and desperation, as if something irreversible had come between them, each set against the other, to be swayed no more. As if to confirm my suspicion, Ma rose from the settee, straightening the cuffs of her sleeves. Papa followed. Briefly they each met the other's gaze, looked away. Papa asked if there was any outstanding business she wished to discuss with him. Ma simply cleared her throat. Shoulders low, Papa shuffled towards the double doors, holding them open for Ma to pass through. Attempting to make my mother see sense, expressing his frustrations about the Labadist's many rules, seemed to have drained his very life force. I felt unwell. The end of my nose tickled, and I rubbed it hard. Remaining behind the bear, I waited for the doors to close before daring to move. Safe, I crept out into the enormous room. I looked longingly at the thick volume one last time, and slid it carefully back into its secret nook.